Hey now, and welcome down to KCToyreviews. We are here today with Mr. J by Mars Toys, aka Joker, specifically the Gangster version from the 1989 Batman classic. And of course, as always, Mars Toys continues to knock it out of the park with their releases, and this one is no different. And while there might be a few hiccups that I'll detail through the video, ultimately, this has been one stellar pickup. So if you're at all curious about picking this piece up and want to know if it's worth it, then let's go ahead, fine comb some of those details, and dive right the hell goddamn in. Pinky in my ass. Alright, so here we are with Mr. J by Mars Toy. And I did take the hat off. I just want to show that this is a removable accessory. Pretty decent felt. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a little oversized. It just seems a little bit big in my opinion, but it's nothing that I'm even going to gripe about or harp on too much through this video. But ultimately, this is a pretty decent hat and awesome included accessory. Now, as we zoom in a little bit and take an immediate look at this head sculpt, I'm going to go right out of the gate and say Mars Toys has Hot Toys-like quality head sculpts. Ripped straight from the movie, the likeness is spot on, the shading, the shadows, the glisten to the eyes, everything on this head sculpt is awesome. And of course, with that said, we have two other included head sculpts that we'll kind of show off through the rest of this video, but I cannot believe that we have these three incredible head sculpts. If you were to just go on eBay alone, one of these could be $80 to $100. And Mars Toys has blessed us with three of them. And before we move our way down and start analyzing the suit here, I just wanted to throw this head sculpt on. And here I just want to note we do have the little handkerchief accessory, which with this new head sculpt, you can note on the forehead, we have the little white mark. And what that is in the movie, he went to wipe off his mask, which technically underneath this face is his white Joker face. This is like a painted on skin color. So he used this handkerchief, he wiped it, and you can start to see his white face being exposed. So it's a cool little accessory and nod to the original movie. I'm just not sure I see a huge difference between these two head sculpts. I mean, comment below if you see. I think really the only thing I'm noticing is just that white part on the forehead there. But other than that, I would go as far as saying they almost look identical. And what I would consider our final descent into madness. The best of the three head sculpts by far, the most reminiscent of Joker in my opinion, and that maniac laugh look head sculpt is absolutely incredible. Again, Mars Toys, you've absolutely knocked it out of the park with these three head sculpts. Now, as we start to make our way down here, I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go layer by layer, but we can see that there are three layers to the suit here. We have this little silky orange one underneath the tie. We have this purple kind of normal vest layer there, and then the suit overlay. On top of that, we have this little gangster handkerchief in there, which is amazing. The only part of my coat that's been a kind of a pain in the ass so far is this button is constantly coming off. I mean, with little to no touch, this button is just coming off. So I got to go on a quick rant and say, you know, Mars Toys, for as good of a company as you are and all these other 1/6 scale, we got to get out of the business of using these crappy buttons. Whether it's a magnet system or a hook, there are definitely better options on there. And even from the side, I would say that they look, see if I can get a good angle there, they look a little sloppy. I mean, you can see a lot of yarn and extra kind of sewing underneath there. And as we've seen, they barely hold. I mean, that thing is barely holding on there, and his little fat suit is kind of wanting to push it out there, which is another note. He does have a little fat suit or a little plush underneath him there, which gives him that bulk. As far as articulation, we do have double jointed elbows, so you can do whatever the hell you want with this guy. With the body underneath and the cloth suit, you can bend, pose, do whatever the heck you want with this guy without fear of damaging him. And yeah, it really leaves to a ton of posability options due to this awesome articulation. And same thing with the legs. I mean, I would expect these legs and the pants to be a little bit baggy the way they are on Joker. I wouldn't expect them to be tight fitting, so zero complaints there. The pattern and the color scheme, the tailoring, everything from top to bottom is pretty spot on. The team over at Mars Toys always does a pretty damn good job at all their tailoring. And then we have the same situation going on with the legs. We have double jointed knees on there, a cloth suit obviously on top. So there are zero complaints with articulation. The only kind of, janky part is the ratchets. Why the heck did they go with ratchet legs? I don't know why. Personally, I cannot stand ratchet legs. Most of the joints do hold up over time. So I'm surprised we didn't just go with a normal tightened joint instead of these ratcheted legs. So that is a strange way to go. But like I said, I don't think it really matters once you get them into a nice pose. Whether there's ratchets or not underneath doesn't matter whatsoever. And if anybody cares, we do have these purple, black-looking shoes down here. Obviously, articulation's pretty good. We have the ball joint there, so, I mean, yeah, pretty good down there. So far, he's balanced excellently. I've gone through a couple of reviews lately where they've been a goddamn balancing act. So this guy's been a pleasure, kind of putting up and down, come around downtown right now. He balances fantastic. And just briefly wanted to show off this awesome crotch grabber stand that's included. We all love the crotch, and nothing's better than grabbing the crotch of a 1/6 scale figure versus the waist. I don't know where you think I was going there, but I love a crotch grabber. Anyways, with that weird statement aside, we do have this nice branded Batman symbol, Joker right on the front. A very stereotypical 1/6 scale stand, but like I said, it's branded nicely, and the fact that they even included one, cough cough 30, is always a welcome sight. And just a brief look at the accessories. I usually kind of breeze by these because they're pretty obvious, but we have the Joker card. We have the little ring finger here that, if you remember in the movie, he basically melted the skin off of a guy when he electrocuted him so badly. We have this little bow tie around his neck here. Underneath here, we have the handkerchief that we saw earlier that actually wiped a little bit of the paint away on his forehead. And we have this pretty badass shotgun, fantastic paint application, just really looks nice overall, even a decent weight to that thing. We have a stereotypical Joker cane back here, a paintbrush, and then the last thing that we really want to harp on, which is odd to me, is the dictatorship of the right hand. Mars Toys is very heavily reliant on that right hand. I think that you should give equal options to both hands. Maybe I wanted to put the gun on the left hand versus the right hand, or vice versa with the other accessories. And unfortunately, most of the accessories are very reliant on the right hand. Small gripe, nothing that really matters too much in the long run. It just hinders the posability options a little bit, and situations where maybe we wanted to use a couple accessories. But all in, there's a fantastic amount of accessories. Everything looks nice. There are zero complaints with everything we see in front of us. And just a quick side-by-side with the other Mars Toys 1989 Joker release. And as we can see, side-by-side, they pair wonderfully with one another. Unfortunately, I did sell my 1989 Batman, so I don't have a Batman to put side-by-side, but I think this was good enough just to show you, again, the fantastic quality of Mars Toys. And as I've said earlier, we have this just amazing descent into madness. And there we have it. Mr. J by Mars Toys. And of course, as always, most Mars Toys releases are fantastic. As a massive fan of the Joker, I will welcome every single release by Mars Toys in the Joker category. And of course, as far as what we have in front of us, I mean, it is basically Hot Toys quality. There's only a few things like the buttons on the jacket and the ratchet legs that kick it back a few points, but as it spins in front of us, to the untrained eye, next to and blended in with a Hot Toys collection, you would not know the goddamn difference. This release is amazing, right down to the fantastic tailoring on the suit, 3 different incredible head sculpts, and we need to stress that, incredible head sculpts. Paint application, the likeness of Jack Nicholson, and the fact that we have 3 of them is insane. All the accessories were nice, and of course blended with amazing articulation. I mean, man, I can't stress enough, your imagination is truly the limit. All those accessories, the insane posability options, 3 head sculpts. I mean, you could probably pose the hell out of this thing for hours. And I'm not being biased because this is from one of the best superhero movies of all time. That's right, the classic 1989 Batman movie is one of the best Batman films ever. We all love Michael Keaton and we all love Jack Nicholson, the classic Batman and Joker combo. So Mars Toys really strikes at our hearts with all of these releases, especially when they're paired with this amazing quality. And on top of all that, we have a branded Batman Joker stand just to be a cherry on top. So with all that said, I think it's a great time to segue into a score on this guy. And I've said this before, but what comes to mind, like a lightning bolt hitting the tip of my penile, is a 9.1 out of 10. That's right, this is nearly a goddamn masterpiece. If it weren't for some of those small little gripes like the buttons, the ratchet legs, and even sometimes getting the heads on and off is ridiculously hard. You're holding onto it so hard and you're jacking that suit up and down, which the motion of in my mind, the way I actually did that and said it was ridiculous and disgusting at the same time, so I apologize to everybody. But all that aside, with a 9.1 out of 10. I highly recommend this piece. In fact, when it sells out, and it will sell out, I can guarantee that the price will climb on this one. Right now it floats around $200 to $225 shipped, so grab it now before the price goes up, and I guarantee that you won't be disappointed. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here today at KC Toys with a 9.1 out of 10, Mr. J by Mars Toys. Cannot wait to see whatever Joker they pump out next, because we know it's going to be goddamn awesome. Catch you guys next time. Rah!